Singapore's officially the Republic of Singapore, is a sovereign island country and city-state in maritime Southeast Asia. It lies about 1 degree of latitude, 137 kilometers or 85 miles, north of the equator, off the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, bordering the Strait of Malacca to the west, the Singapore Strait to the south, the South China Sea to the east, and the Straits of Johor to the north. The country's territory is composed of one main island, 63 satellite islands and islets, and one outlying islet. The combined area of these has increased by 25% since the country's independence as a result of extensive land reclamation projects. It has the third highest population density in the world. With a multicultural population and recognizing the need to respect cultural identities of the major ethnic groups within the nation, Singapore has 4 official languages: English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. English is the lingua franca and numerous public services are available only in English. Multiracialism is enshrined in the Constitution and continues to shape national policies in education, housing, and politics. Republic of Singapore Shinjapo Gong A Guo, Chinese, Republik Singapura, Malay. Singapore Kugiyaraku, Tamil. Singapore's history dates back at least a millennium, having been a maritime emporium known as Temasek and subsequently as a major constituent part of several successive thalassocratic empires. Its contemporary era began in 1819 when Stamford Raffles established Singapore as an entrepot trading post of the British Empire. In 1867, the colonies in Southeast Asia were reorganized and Singapore came under the direct control of Britain as part of the Straits settlements. During World War II, Singapore was occupied by Japan in 1942, and returned to British control as a separate crown colony following Japan's surrender in 1945. Singapore gained self-governance in 1959 and in 1963 became part of the new Federation of Malaysia, alongside Malaya, North Borneo, and Sarawak. Ideological differences, most notably the perceived encroachment of the egalitarian, Malaysian Malaysia, political ideology led by Lee Kuan Yew into the other constituent entities of Malaysia, at the perceived expense of the Bumiputera and the policies of Ketuanan Melayu, eventually led to Singapore's expulsion from the Federation 2 years later. Singapore became an independent sovereign country in 1965. After early years of turbulence whilst lacking natural resources and a hinterland, the nation rapidly developed to become one of the 4 Asian tigers based on international trade and economic globalization, integrating itself within the world economy through free trade with minimal to no trade barriers or tariffs, export-oriented industrialization, and the large accumulation of received foreign direct investments, foreign exchange reserves, and assets held by sovereign wealth funds. A highly developed country, it is tied at 11th on the UN Human Development Index and has the second highest GDP per capita (PPP) in the world. Identified as a tax haven, Singapore is the only country in Asia with a AAA sovereign credit rating from all major rating agencies. It is a major aviation, financial, and maritime shipping hub, and has consistently been ranked as one of the most expensive cities to live in for expatriates and foreign workers. Singapore is placed highly in key social indicators: education, healthcare, quality of life, personal safety, infrastructure, and housing, with a home ownership rate of 88%. Singaporeans enjoy one of the longest life expectancies, fastest internet connection speeds, lowest infant mortality rates, and lowest levels of corruption in the world. Singapore is a unitary parliamentary republic with a Westminster system of unicameral parliamentary government, and its legal system is based on common law. Although the country is a multi-party democracy with free elections, The government under the People's Action Party (PAP) wields significant control and dominance over politics and society. The PAP has governed the country continuously since full internal self-government was achieved in 1959, with 83 out of 104 seats in parliament as of the 2020 general election. One of the 5 founding members of ASEAN, Singapore is also the headquarters of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation (APEC) Secretariat, the Pacific Economic Cooperation Council (PECC) Secretariat, and is the host city of many international conferences and events. Singapore is also a member of the United Nations (UN), World Trade Organization (WTO), East Asia Summit (EAS), Non-Aligned Movement (NAM), and the Commonwealth of Nations. The English name of Singapore is an anglicization of the native Malay name for the country, Singapura, which was in turn derived from the Sanskrit word for lion city, Sanskrit, Sinapura. Romanized, Simhapura, Brahmi. Literally, lion city. Simha means lion, Pura means city, or fortress. A Chinese account from the 3rd century referred to a place as Puluozhang, Chinese Puluozhang, which sounds like Malay for island at the end of a peninsula. Early references to the name Temasek, or Tumasek, are found in the Nagarakretagama, a Javanese eulogy written in 1365, and a Vietnamese source from the same time period. The name possibly means sea town, being derived from the Malay Tasik, meaning sea, or lake. 9. The Chinese traveler Wang Dayuan visited a place around 1330 named Danmaxi, Chinese Dan Ma Shi, Pinyin Dan Maxi, Wei Giles, Tan Ma Shi, or Tam Ma Siak, depending on pronunciation. Dan Maxi may be a transcription of Temasek. Alternatively, it may be a combination of the Malay Tana meaning land, and Chinese Shi meaning tin, which was traded on the island. Variations of the name Simhapura were used for a number of cities throughout the region prior to the establishment of the Kingdom of Singapura. In Hindu-Buddhist culture, lions were associated with power and protection, which may explain the attraction of such a name. The name Singapura supplanted Temasek sometime before the 15th century, after the establishment of the Kingdom of Singapura on the island by a fleeing Sumatran Raja prince from Palembang. However, the precise time and reason for the name change is unknown. The semi-historical Malay annals state that Temasek was christened Singapura by Sang Nila Utama, a 13th century Sumatran Raja from Palembang. The annals state that Sang Nila Utama encountered a strange beast on the island that he took to be a lion. Seeing this as an omen, he established the town of Singapura where he encountered the beast. 37, 88-92, 30-31. The second hypothesis, drawn from Portuguese sources, postulates that this mythical story is based on the real-life Parameswara of Palembang. Parameswara declared independence from Majapahit and mounted a lion throne. After then being driven into exile by the Javanese, he usurped control over Temasek. It is possible that he rechristened the area as Singapura, recalling the throne he had been driven from. Under Japanese occupation, Singapore was renamed Sionan, Japanese Jiaonan, Hepburn, Shonan meaning Light of the South. Singapore is sometimes referred to by the nickname the Garden City, in reference to its parks and tree-lined streets. Another informal name, the Little Red Dot, was adopted after an article in the Asian Wall Street Journal of the 4th of August 1998 said that Indonesian President B.J. Habibie referred to Singapore as a red dot on a map. History. In 1299, according to the Malay annals, the Kingdom of Singapura was founded on the island by Sang Nila Utama. Although the historicity of the accounts as given in the Malay annals is the subject of academic debates, It is nevertheless known from various documents that Singapore in the 14th century, then known as Temasek, was a trading port under the influence of both the Majapahit Empire and the Siamese kingdoms, and was a part of the Indosphere. These Indianized kingdoms were characterized by surprising resilience, political integrity and administrative stability.